Glad to know you're still with us. And right now we'll delve into personal finance with Charles Fakroha. He's right here with us. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you again today.
Morning, Pepe. Morning, Samson.
Morning.
Yeah.
All right. So today we'll continue the conversation. We're taking it a step further. We started talking about Naira cost averaging last Friday.
Yes.
And today we want to move to pitfalls of Naira cost averaging. I mean, you took that out of my mouth because I was going to ask you. You know, you praised it so much, like it's the best thing after.
No, you see, it's a strategy, and every investment strategy has its own
pitfalls,
bad side or disadvantage. You know, just like in medicine. Whatever drug you take had some side effect. But before we go into today's topic, I don't know how true is it that our former head of state still sent us some money from the great beyond. You know, you can see this is a very good example of an estate planning. But again, on a serious note, you discover that yes, somebody is late over how many years, and yet we are still getting money from him. Some persons will tell me maybe while he was alive, he had this money disorder. Because maybe it was a money abuse problem. In the other, we have drug abuse. He was also abusing money. And that's why we keep saying that if you treat money like a drug, you will become the addict. So, those of us who are alive, let us begin to look at our lives. Do we make money our master, or we make money our servant? We have said this several times. If you make money your master, then it becomes a very tyrannical master. But if you make money your servant, it's going to serve you diligently. So let's try to make money our servant so that it will serve us diligently. Anyway, that takes us to today's topic. Yes, you were mentioning pitfalls about this particular Naira cost averaging. Yes, we are not saying the Naira cost averaging. It's a very simple strategy, and most people have been using it. But again, if you look at it, it's also very difficult to apply at times. Somebody has large amount of money to invest. The strategy is saying, don't put everything once. Start with this amount, then every month continue that amount. But again, we have to go back to our own culture. People who do this daily contribution, you know, they call it ajo. They tell you they can do 500 naira a day, 1,000 a day. Now, their own is a form of Naira cost average, you know, because their own is what? On a daily basis. And the ajo man comes or woman comes at a particular time. Is it not in the morning, Avi? Every day or afternoon, but at least every day. And that trader, because it is convenient for them, they're able to give 500 naira on a daily basis. Then at the end of the month, they said the first one goes to the expert, while the other one is their own. Now, they on their own, it will be difficult for them to save that 500 daily. Is that not true? So you can see why we are saying that strategy is simple, and with some little bit of discipline, you can, implement it.
But this illustration, isn't that for a saving scheme as against, an investment scheme?
Yes, whether you call it saving or an investment, because it is when you save that you cannot invest. When they collect that money at the end of the month, maybe they are doing 1,000 every day, and then maybe they're having 30,000 naira. Now, you can now put it in an investment. That is just the ideal. But of course, we know that some of them are used to do one thing or the other. But if you have disciplined yourself, then your stockbroker is waiting for you at the end of the month. You now give it to him to invest. It takes some form of discipline. We know how it works. We are not saying that strategy is the best, or it does not have any pitfall. And that's why today we are looking at some of these pitfalls of dollar cost averaging. One,
dollar or naira.
Sorry, it is a Naira cost average. This is why we don't want to dollarize our economy. We want to Nairalize it. So it's Naira cost averaging. The first pitfall we've come to discover is people who advocate that strategy like us, we just believe that the market is down and it will continue to go down. Then over time, it will now begin to pick up. But we have seen instances where the market remains up, continues to go up and up and up over a 5-year period. We have seen that. So, because if you believe that the market is going to go down, so as you invest that fixed amount of money, each month you invest, you are buying more because the price is going down. Then when you get to a certain point, it will start coming up. Then the investor will be making money. But in the case where he invests maybe 10 or 15,000 naira and the price keeps going up and up and up, if you had invested all his bulk funds at that initial stage, you will be making more money compared to staggering it.
Okay.
But again, we need to ask ourselves, I'm not defending that strategy.
Okay.
How many investors who have that bulk fund to invest at a time?
Okay.
So that's why we say that
Fair
strategy
enough.
is simple for them. That's one of the pitfalls.
So that means for people who have the lump sum, whenever the market is down, they should just take advantage and...
But again, yes, at what point do you think the market is down? You say, okay.
For example, throughout maybe some weeks ago, we saw what the market was doing.
Okay.
Prices were crashing.
Okay.
You know, I mean, some prices even got to 52-week low and all of that.
Okay.
I mean, that would have been a good time for an investor who wants to drop lump sum into the market.
Agreed, yes. But again, you should have done those calculations and yet it still went down again. We have seen cases like that.
Well, but at least you're safe.
You know, you're
to some
safe.
extent.
Yes.
Again,
so it is not 100%. Yes.
At what point would you also determine what a lump sum is? Because lump sum will be relative depending on individuals.
I agree with you. Yes.
That those who can comfortably add $1 million to whatever stock it is, and that those who it's probably 100,000 that's is their own lump sum.
Yes.
So if the market is down and they are thinking, okay, this is a very good time to buy the dip, so that when it goes up,
yes, they will have made so much money.
Why can't they put it all in? After all, it's all a risk.
Yes, like you have said, lump sum depends. It is the individual himself that will determine whether this is lump sum for me or not. So we as the advisors, we can determine that.
Okay.
Yes, we are saying you put your money when you think the price is down, like she has said, 52-week low. We've also seen when the market goes beyond that 52-week low again, there is no resistance that we see keeps going down. You invest today, you think, oh, this is 52-week low. You invest today, the next day is still going down again. So, and that's what we are saying. It is difficult to time the market 100%. And that's why advocates of Naira cost averaging still believe that their strategy is still the best for them.
And you're one of them.
Well, yes, I am one of them, but I'm also saying we need to modify it.
Okay.
100,000 could be a lump sum for somebody, an investor, and it puts in that 100,000 for the first time. It does not mean that the next month you must put the 100,000 naira.
Okay.
Because when you are investing, you should invest for your own comfort.
In other words, the modification you're advocating for doesn't require consistency in terms of
the amount.
The amount.
Exactly.
It could be periodic, but not the amount.
Yes, it could be periodic.
Okay.
Every month, but your first time you started 100,000. Of course, the next time it could be maybe 20,000. That is very convenient for you.
Okay.
20,000. There are times maybe you get some other income from some other places. It could be 30,000. There is sometimes this could go so bad. It could be 10,000. But we want to say just make it consistent that at the end of every month you do some investment.
Okay.
That's the modification we are advising. Yes. So we have seen that assumption that we think the markets will always come down, then begins to go away. We've seen a situation where the market continues to go up. Then people have also said that this Naira cost averaging, it does not make investors to get the optimal returns that they want, because they have 100,000 naira to invest. They want to stagger it, and they keep most of their money in the bank, and which is not advisable. You need to invest whatever funds you have earmarked for investment. So with that, you are not getting the optimal return you are supposed to get. They also said that it's also complicated to even calculate your returns, because if you have invested lump sum 100,000 and maybe after 6 months or maybe 3 months you can calculate your return, but if you keep putting it staggeredly like that, then it will be difficult to calculate your returns,
because you bought at different prices. Okay.
But again, advocates still say, yes, we agree it is difficult. So if you put in 100,000 and in 3 months time you sell and you get 120,000, you can calculate your return.
20,000.
You know, it's 20,000. But if you stagger it, you might not be able to calculate your.
Okay.
But the issue they are now saying is the investment markets, especially the stock market, is not guaranteed.
Okay.
The returns are not guaranteed. You cannot say, I put in this amount or this is what I want to get. Because the returns there are variable. And that's why they say you are part owner of that particular company you are investing in. So the investors have to just take it that way, that yes, for me to have some safety, let me use a strategy that is convenient for me and I can afford to implement it. The whole thing is about implementing that strategy and not trying to time the market. That's my quarrel. Because you cannot time the market 100%. It's not possible. You want to know when prices have come down, like we see in some cases. We see in some cases, you say, oh, this is the best time to buy. The market has gone to rock bottom. Okay, then, and you invest that day, the next day the market is going down again.
Well, I still shouldn't feel bad about that.
It also applies in the opposite direction too. You want to sell. You say, oh, it has gotten to a peak. Oh yeah, you're telling your broker. Your broker says, you sell. You sell that day, the next day the price is going up. And that is why we are saying greed and fear is what really drives the market. Our prophets have told us, you be greedy when others are fearful. Be fearful when others are greedy. That is when you can even get some of the benefits of the market. But we are saying, if you don't want to take that kind of risks, then go with Naira cost averaging. And at the end of the day, at least, you might not get the real return that you want, but at least you will get some returns.
If you ask me, I think the positive to the Naira cost averaging is probably discipline at the end of the day.
Of course, and that is what we require in any investment. You need to be disciplined in terms of the timing of your investment at the end of every fixed period as convenient for you. Doesn't really mean that it has to be every month. It can be every week. It can be every quarter. It can even be twice a year.
Okay.
In fact, we have seen people who even do it once a year. Yes, those who collect what they call their upfront housing and all that.
Housing allowance.
Maybe housing allowance,
yes,
you know,
and
they already have an accommodation they are staying. They just invest it. So at the end of every year, they collect that money and they invest in the market. And of course, it's also a form of Naira cost averaging.
Okay. Yeah. Any other pitfall?
Yeah. Well, the pitfall there is you just need to be disciplined. But we have seen cases where some people start that strategy and one thing or the other, they are not able to continue. So that is also a problem for them.
I think people who probably do not have so much money at once, I think it's also a good strategy for them. You don't have the lump sum to purchase, something as huge. I mean, just making sure that you're committed to the stock markets means that for your investment in the stock market keeps improving, which is also an addition.
Well, we're not saying some of them at the end of the day, maybe after doing it for a year, that discipline to continue will not be there.
But they can keep earning from the ones that
so they will not get that return, that optimal return they're expected to get, because like you said, discipline is key for this strategy to work.
All right, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. It's always, a wonderful time with you on the show.
Well, before you allow me to go, I hope we're all at peace with money.
Oh, yes. Are you at peace with money?
Well, I am.
I am too.
We need to accept it graciously when it is given to us.
Okay. I didn't get that.
Yes. And we need to mindfully, manage it and consciously invest it.
Okay.
Then at the same time, let's believe in the future that whatever investment we are doing now, we will get the returns in the future. If money talks, then we all require a hearing aid to listen to money. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming on the show and for the thoughts you've shared with us.
Thank you.
We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll continue. Stay with us. It's iBrandTV.